Thanks for coming in, Barry. Let me know if the audio is good. I thought I was live. I didn't press the live button. It's a rookie mistake. So thanks for being there. The first one, much appreciated. Fix my shirt. What's wrong with my shirt? You're not working. Should have worn another different shirt. Is it? Oh, this side. There you go. We're doing the wrong side. Okay. My phone is fine. Just leave it like that. Um, with that said, let me shoot the link to my guest. Thank you for your patience. Give me a second. I send the link. And let me get started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome. This is Tech for Your Needs. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Bionic School. Saw your last video. It was very nice and crispy. Hey, Steven Science, thanks for being here, everybody. Much appreciated. I'm waiting for my guest. I don't know. Let me just see if you remember. Send the link. So hopefully everything's here. Give me a second. Okay. I'm back. Hey, what up, Caesar? Thanks for being here. Just waiting for my guest, Alex, to see if he comes in. I left the link and everything. We're going to discuss 5G. And when I break it down 5G in different categories. So first, it's the explanation. Then what is the advancement for 5G? What is besides mobile? What is mobile? And what else? Oh, there's thanks for coming in. And I'm very confused if that's my mom or that's my actual niece. So not sure. So, anyways, so with that said, thanks, Big Dog, for coming. What up? Much appreciated, brother. Thanks for being here. And yes, I'm waiting for my guest. I don't know if he's remember that is. I called him earlier, so see. Give me a second. I'm working. Let's see. But anyway, Bob, well, he gets so. Well, we're gonna discuss 5G. We're gonna break it in different categories. So we're gonna break it the definition, 5G in different sectors, 5G in different area. Also, I guess we family because that's my last name too. Puerto Rican. So yeah, so getting back to the topic, we're going to break in different areas. We're going to discuss it. I'm not too well versed in the 5G spectrum. I don't know too much of it, but I'm trying to learn and trying to break it down different areas, like for the mobile industry, outside the mobile industry, for the medical area, and which area is supposed to be the 5G and what it's supposed to do and enhance our life and make it better and bring up the speed. Just here going back and forth. So yeah, so that's what I'm working with, and I'm just trying to educate people. Well, not me, but my guest if he comes. So I'm just waiting. So with that said, anybody got questions or anything that they want to discuss? By the time he comes, if he comes, and now I'll take over and I'll try to do my best to my best ability. So clarify that. Oh, cool, big dog. Put that coming up there. Yep, Hispanic. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Um, hey, how you doing, Michael Pepper TED Talk? Hey, thank you for coming. I'm gonna call you MSC because I don't know how to pronounce your name and I don't want it. Miss Full Roller, I think it's called. Thanks for coming in. So yeah, so I'm getting back to the subject. If you're part of the replay crew, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, do all the wonderful thing. If I bring you value, if you like what you see, become part of my journey. But that's it. Let's get started. So yeah, so hopefully he didn't forget to come in. If not, it's fine. I'll take over. So as far as all the devices mentioned and coming in, I mean the S line looked pretty good. Thanks for coming in, Snowman. Much appreciated you being here. So yeah, so hopefully we get to discuss 5G because I mean I'm just basic. If we get to 5G, I know 5G is supposed to improve everything and makes our life better and speed and enhance our phones. You know, but and it's good because by then we get more productivity and the productivity is better. But it's coming up here. Oh, that's nice. Cool. Working hard labor. So yeah. Give me a second. Okay. Get back to the subject. Anybody gonna got questions or anything that could answer? So yeah, the 5G industry amazed me because now I've started seeing more budget phones on the 5G realm. So now we got to compare the flagship and the mid range and different kind of bands and everything. Yeah, I mean, uh, yeah, it's just problem because I got to get the curtains. The curtains they gave me is not it's not long enough. If I force it, it's gonna snap. Which I'll do a small video and show you what I mean. So and I'll DM you with that so you can understand what I'm talking about. Definitely, pretty soon I'm gonna get the right curtains. I decided to go to a company, have them print it to see if they could print it. So that's what I'm going to do next month, the beginning of next month. Yeah, because I mean the tallness and when you put everything worked fine. But the only thing is wrong with that is just the actual I'm stretching it, so therefore it was gonna snap the bottom, so it was the wrong size. Other than that, everything else worked fine. Everything is easy, simple, two step, just the wrong length of curtains or drapes, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's what it is. So yeah. So let's see. Also, let me see what else. Once again, I want to say thanks to everybody for rocking. Hey, Gadget Goddess, thanks for coming in. Much appreciated. I'm getting some little subscribers here and there, but that's not the goal. The goal is just to provide value. And if I help you, you help me. We help each other. That's one more person that I help. So yeah. Hey, holla at your boy. It's in the house. Hey, brother, how you doing? How's everything? So yeah, looking at talking about general tech, I'm seeing that like the low 5G mid-range phones getting 5G more and more because it's getting more advanced, you know what I mean? And it's trickling down to the low budget. So now the question is, how good is the low budget 5G compared to the 5G? Can you get away with a low budget 5G and it was not able to a higher end because not able, but to see what is how much is the 5G or less is the 5G depending on the category of the phone, and the value. So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Oh no, GG God is it's just that I got the divider, everything worked, but the curtains it wasn't long enough. So I decided to check a company and I talked to them to see if they could do the logo, everything. So I just bought a current. I don't have to buy the decal. I didn't want to return it back because it was 95 or 98% correct. It was just the actual curtains, it wasn't not long enough. I couldn't force it because of snap. So clarify that. Yeah, I could have got a new one, but it was just it's Olay. So I decided to go another route. And you're gonna worry about it. I mean, it didn't cost too much. It was all under $50, so I'm fine with it. Yeah, the costume one curtains that came with it, it didn't fit at all. I had to return it, but I didn't want to go through all that hassle, so I decided to keep it and buy the curtains later. So next month, about the first or second week, I should have it. So to be honest, so yeah, the key question is that I'm trying to find out if the 5G, actual the 5G on the low budget phone, is it good enough to hang? So is it passable since not everybody got the mean and the cash you spend on a high end budget, which we all could because there's a payment plan in United States, but that's just the problem that I'm trying to work with and think about. We got different bands and different stuff for different companies, which I'm not too informed on that. So not sure when the my guest is coming in. I just send in information. I'm just waiting. So if anybody got questions or anything, feel free. Let me put this here. Yeah, because they got low budget phones, they got mid range phones coming out with actual 5G. So I just want to know how strong is those signals, and because everything play a factor on the actual value of the phone. Yeah, I'm not. But I mean, you got to understand that not everybody got the same money and all that. So let me put it right here. Hey, thanks for coming in, Eric Drum. See, you're basing that on your income, but if you got 5G, it's in every realm and every spectrum. Then it's reaching more hands and more people. So okay, I got you, brother. So yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. Give me a second. I'm gonna send this link to one more person. If the person decided to come in, I'm not sure. Bear with me, folks. I'm just trying to find. Okay, I'm back. So, any question, anything? So, yeah. So the 5G infrastructure is not just for mobile; it's going for hospital, and I can't wait to get to a level of goodness and everything. Because if I'm gonna have machines and everything operating on a person, got to be, good enough. You can't have somebody die in the middle of things because the 5G failed. So that's what it is. Once again, if you're part of the replay crew, don't forget to hit like, comment. If I bring you value and you like what you see, subscribe to the channel. So with that said, what else? And once again, okay. So yeah, changing the subject a little bit. Changing the subject a little bit. Well, I'm looking at different phones that coming so far. That was mentioned the S line. Not to change the subject, but I mean I'm not too well versed with the 5G, so I mean I don't know what else to say because I'm not knowledgeable. So it's fine. So okay. It's in, let me see. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just typing something. My apologies. Let me get back. But yeah, so I mean that's what I was discussing. So yeah, thanks everybody for coming in. Thanks for being, always on time and everything. Much appreciated. And always Barry Johnson's the first one, so I want to salute that. And yeah, so I'm looking at it because I was looking at the um, OnePlus phones coming in for different carriers. Some of them got 5G, so I was just thinking, I'm like, is it worth to buy a low end 5G phone compared to a high end? You got to think about the company you're buying it from because every company got different covers and different spectrum. So not everybody. And remember, the 5G is in infancy, and also it depends on the area. So I want to prefer that because people miss. Not everybody's techie and know enough. So I'm talking about the regular people because the people that are here they know that 5G is subject to where you live, and sometimes it may work fast, sometimes it don't. So I want to clarify that when you get a 5G phone, no matter if it's a flagship or a budget phone, you got to understand that it might work in your area good, it might not work because the 5G is in infancy and the infrastructure is getting better. That's why it's trickling down to the actual low end phones. When I mean low end, I mean from $400 and down. So I just want to clarify that because people may think that that's what it is. Okay, let me see right here. I got a question. Well, that's a good question. The Nord seems to be a pretty good option. It's not bad for the price. Yes, it's not for the bad for the price, but remember, Eric Drummond, you also got to think people see 5G, but not everybody is into 5G yet because it's a new technology. And also, people look more on the actual pictures, photos, memory, and stuff like that. And let me go back over here to the next question. Also, LTE, oh yeah, LTE should have a cheaper option. So the key question about all this is how good is that 5G on the low end budget compared to the high end? And that's a good comparison because you could see, depending on the spectrum, millimeter wave, whatever technology you get, and whatever stuff you get. So, and I don't know, stuff like that. So, I mean, looking. Yeah. So yeah, so the 5G fascinate me, but I got to do more research and learn that technology because I don't know really enough about it. I just thought that I talk if my guest comment, but I guess he's busy. Something happened, which I'll see. So yeah, so I'm glad that more affordable 5G is coming in, so more people can get into 5G, and that's a new technology that's coming in. I just can't wait till we have a standard or something that switch different 5G technology because some company got N41 or whatever it's called the number or ultra wide band and stuff like that, but I would like to have a phone that it alternate from different bands so that'd be good so you don't be confined to one band. So I believe a couple of channels that talk about 5Gs and is well educated with that area and I will discuss the. Okay, Luis, did you hear that LaShawn mentioned that Samsung is releasing some models of the S21 as 4G only phones? No, I never heard that, but I wonder why they're doing that. If it's like going backwards. I mean, I don't get the logic, to be honestly. At this point of the game, you're going to pay that much money for S21, might as well be 5G. If we're talking about United States, because remember that that's going globally, so it depending what country and whatever you're talking. If a country is way behind, then I understand the 4G and why they have the 4G, the LTE. That's understood. Yeah, I mean, I get the point of being a cheaper option, Barry, to be honestly, but I don't see why you're gonna waste money on that and not future proof yourself. You know what I mean? And good point, LaShawn, for bringing that up because I never knew of that. And if you think about it, why Samsung's doing that if they already got the foldable line, that which is the A line and stuff like that. So that's the part that I don't get why they're doing that and having that actual flagship be 4G. See, I'm going depending on the price of the 4G, then that's my problem. Well, I mean, you're back. Thanks for coming back. So yeah, so that's just my key question. If you're gonna call it flagship, when not gold or in, see right there, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth because if I'm paying certain amount of money, I expect certain amount of stuff. Okay, for some people who don't want future proof, 4G option might be just fine. Yeah, Eric, but also you could go for the A line and could get a comparable money the same or less than getting the flagship 4G and it'll be a 5G phone if you get in the A line series. See, so the right there, Samsung is contradicting themselves. And that's the part that I don't get. I don't it's not that I don't comprehend why they're going backwards. It's called a contradiction because if you're gonna sell a S21 line 4G and then give me the A line series that's more affordable and have 5G. What's the purpose of paying for that? Yeah, the build quality is different, but on the Series A line, you got plastic too, aka Colin Portman, and all that stuff. That's the part that I'm thinking, you know, why waste the money on a high end phone doing 4G when the same company sell you the same thing for cheaper and already have 5G established? So that's the key question that I'm trying to answer. I just don't see it. Bear with me. Let me get water. I mean, honestly, it does not make sense. So, honestly, it doesn't make sense. I mean, I really don't understand. I mean, if you're gonna charge certain amount of money, I expect certain amount of class of phone. If I could get the same much, almost the same quality as phone or close to it, why not go with the less model and get a 5G phone capable with the other model line? And that's just what Samsung is just got me thinking and really got me scratching my head to be honestly on that matter. Okay, my guest is here. I'm gonna bring him in. Thanks for being with me. Hey, how you doing, my brother? You got your mic mute.
I'm doing good, bro. And you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. So, why don't you introduce yourself, and then I got a couple of questions about 5G. So, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Rel.
Okay, the first question is I want you to describe 5G, if you don't mind. What is 5G to the audience that doesn't know, and explain 5G and which company got the best 5G low end phones, stuff like that. Go ahead, you could take the floor.
Hold on, bro. Give me a second.
Okay, okay. So yeah, well, he get his stuff together. I mean, yeah. And also, we got to think about price point, different ages buying the phone. What is the quality? What is this, and that? So we got to think about a lot of options that people don't think about. It's just not only okay, I'm gonna get a high end phone, and this and that. It's all combined to the 5G infrastructure because if you could buy a cheaper phone and get a good quality 5G phone, then defeats the purpose. Okay, bring in my other guest.
There we go.
Thanks for coming in and late notice. Much appreciated, Michael Pepper.
No problem. I got my setup all mixed around. I moved my monitor over, so now my camera's on the opposite side. So
Oh, okay, I got
now
you.
you are seeing all my junk here that you normally wouldn't see. So
It's okay. So yeah, Alex, go ahead.
there we go.
Explain 5G for you.
I mean, for my testing, I mean, mid-band from T-Mobile, which is basically N41, has been the best experience with the speeds because low band with AT&T has fluctuated. I guess it goes all into the panels and what panels they're looking. Like my friends tell me that Ericsson is better than Nokia, and I got Nokia in my area, and that's why I'm having them issues. But then I don't know what panels exactly T-Mobile is using for the N41, which I consider it mid-band because that's exactly what it is. It's not low-band 5G. And, I get the great speeds, 400, 500, 600. I have gone up to 700 megs down and like 110 up. So that's, home internet speeds. So, it all depends on who's using the internet and do you need those speeds? Like everybody wants fast speeds on their phone, but what are you using your phone for? Like I need those speeds because I'm a content creator. So I edit and I upload my videos straight from my smartphone. So I need those speeds. But if you're not a content creator and you're not creating content from your mobile device, it's like you always say, Tech for Your Needs. It's whatever you need that suits you the best. I mean, everybody wants fast speeds, but for streaming and stuff like that, of course, when you're in a car and you want to watch Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus to keep the kids calm, whatever the case may be, then of course, everybody I think would like the fast speeds, but for the most part, AT&T is consistent with the low band 5G that I tested. And I never got to test millimeter wave, so I can't speak for millimeter wave. I know it's supposed to be the wave of the future, but it's just expensive to roll out and it's not everywhere. So if it's not a technology that's everywhere, I can't put all my eggs in one shell, in one basket, I meant to say.
Yeah,
Because
that's
if it's not available everywhere, then why should I be worried about that? The most important bands are going to be mid-band and low band, because mid-band and low band are what penetrate buildings and houses. Millimeter wave is not going to do that. They're working in the near future, probably by 2025, to for it to penetrate buildings. But right now, as it stands, it's minimalistic how much it can penetrate a building. So for my experience and my testing, I think the best thing that we need to worry about in the U.S. is going to be, like I said, mid-band and low band that'll penetrate your house, penetrate your job building. I know, because of the pandemic, people are, stuck in their house. But you want a service that'll penetrate your house. If you want to pay, like me, I pay $127 for one line with AT&T. So I'm expecting to get what I pay for.
Yep, and also it's good that the 5G is going to low budget, mid range phone because now when we talk, I'm not talking only about United States, but I think about some other part of the world, emerging markets. They don't have that capital money, so by having affordable one, then other countries could take benefit.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of budget phones. I mean, the phones that I'm testing are not budget phones. My Google Pixel with the insurance was $904. My 12 Pro with the insurance, since I got a 256, it was $1,850. So yeah,
And
I don't have budget phones.
yeah,
But yeah, you're
because
right. I think that is a good thing that they're putting, it's not going to be the same processors. Like you're getting the 690 with the low end, like the new OnePlus, the OnePlus Nord 10 5G, the one that I was revealing last time that you was on my channel, Tech for Your Needs. Remember, that one has a 690. That's a new low end 5G processor. So that's why it's affordable. If it would have had the same processor I have on my Pixel, the 765, it would have had to be at least like a $600 phone. So it would have went up by $300. So by them putting a more budget-friendly 5G processor in it, then they can make it more affordable, which I think is a great thing for people that can't afford, the high-end phones.
And also, I want to say something that was mentioned on the actual live earlier. You was not here. They said that Samsung's still making the S line 4G, and I said that defeats the purpose. Let me explain why. Because they contradicting themselves. Because the A line is more cheaper and it have 5G. So why are you gonna pay a S21 to have a 4G? So it
I'm
was
gonna
mentioned.
explain to you why.
Mhm.
Because 5G hasn't rolled out nationwide. So it wouldn't make sense for a phone to solely rely on 5G. When even with low band 5G or even mid band 5G or even low band on T-Mobile, I still have spots here in Trenton where I only pick up LTE. So imagine if they was to get rid of that tech for your needs, I would have no service.
No, it's true,
So
but what I'm saying is the S line, right? It's supposed to be the top of the top. You know what I mean? The flagship. Why they making the phone still with a 4G? 4G. You know what I mean?
that's what I'm trying to break it down to you because the
Uh-huh.
5G technology is not as far. I'm telling you, my 12 Pro Max, bro, is a $1,200 phone, and it still has LTE. Like when I don't have 5G, low band 5G with AT&T, it says LTE on my screen, like on the mall. I don't have low band 5G in my local mall, bro. It's LTE in there. I get really good speeds though, 180 down and like 40 up, but it's LTE. It's LTE plus. It just doesn't show it on there. Like they made it so that iPhones don't show HSPA plus. It'll just show LTE, what it's supposed to be, or that fake 5G,
Mhm.
5GE. No, it'll show LTE,
Mhm.
and I'll get the speeds I'm supposed to be getting on 5GE basically. So they stopped that. So that's what I'm saying. Until the companies have the infrastructure to rely solely on 5G, like LTE. Right now, everything was relied on LTE. Until they get the infrastructure, like they got the LTE going, then they can take the LTE away and solely rely on 5G because 5G is going to be the backbone for 6G. That's how it's always been. Like right now, the backbone for 5G is LTE
Mm-hmm.
until they get the standalone rolling. Remember, that's what we was breaking it down yesterday.
Yes.
Standalone is going to be network slicing. You're going to pay for 50 megs down, 50 megs up like you do at home. Like right now, I'll pay Verizon $70 a month for a gig down and a gig up. So that's how it's going to be.
Yeah. So can you explain that to people that don't understand what is slicing?
Well, when the standalone 5G, that it's not going to rely on LTE, and you're going to get these ridiculous speeds. Like I said, like the mid band, it's going to be 300 to 400 megs down and like 100 megs up or 150 megs up until they get it. Well, when they do the network slicing, it's going to be different because it's going to have symmetrical internet. What your download speed is, it's going to be your upload speed, just like home internet. It's like fiber because the towers do have fiber. The cell phone towers do have fiber. The ones that have millimeter wave and all that, they have fiber in them. And I even think the mid band, if I'm not mistaken, I think even mid band has fiber. I'm not too sure if low band. I think even low band has fiber internet. So the thing is that when standalone comes out, it's going to be good because some people are going to think it's unfair, but it all depends on how you look at it. If you want to pay, like right now, if I want to pay T-Mobile when they do the network slicing, right? When they do standalone, right? And I want to pay for this 500 gigs down and 500 gigs up. I'm sorry, 500 megs down and 500 megs up. And they charge me $80 a month, then that's the flat price that I'm going to pay. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
That's the
understand.
flat price. So that's how people got to look at it. How fast do you want your internet to be? Because it might be realistically speaking unfair to other people because not everybody's going to get the same speeds. You're going to get the speeds based off how much are you willing to spend, just like on home internet.
Well, that makes sense. What about you, Michael Pepper? How you doing?
You didn't let him know.
I've been good.
Yeah, I know. I see you having a little trouble with your setup.
So my um, horizontal piece to my mic stand, the tightening
Bolts.
bolt, it goes through and there's a nut, and then it goes through the nut, and then the end of that bolt is rounded over and puts tension against like a plastic piece and that's how it keeps the horizontal piece from spinning. And that nut or something stripped out. So the microphone will just go and spin around. Since I have my microphone mounted like this, it would just constantly end up
Oh, I got you.
and didn't
I,
work. So
I thought you had a boom arm. So I was
so
mistaken.
I have a boom arm now. See, I got an arm for my mic
Oh, I
now.
see.
So
What's interesting is 5G for me has made a difference. I don't know what because if I take my phones and I turn 5G off and set it so that it's LTE only, I don't get service inside
what carrier do you got, if you don't mind me asking?
T-Mobile.
Wow. So if you turn on what, the 5G, you turn it off? I can't hear him. He's on mute.
Oh yeah, it's on mute.
I bumped it. If I turn it to 5G, I get 25 to 30 down and like 5 to 10 up.
Hmm.
If I turn it to LTE, there are areas in the house where I get nothing, and then the areas where I do get signal, I'm lucky if I get like 1 to 3 down and like 0.1 up. So it does make a difference.
Yeah, so that means that the LTE where you live at wasn't rolled out the way it is over here where I live at. That's another thing. That's another, because I see a comment here from, I can't, you guys know I'm bad at reading. He says, I want real 5G, not this fake wannabe 5G.
Correct.
Bro, this is what you need to understand. This is what you need to understand. 5G is expensive to roll out, and you're not gonna get the same speeds I get over here in Jersey where you live at. I don't know where you live at. So if you're not part of a big market, don't even dream about it, bro. I'm telling you that right now. I'm not gonna get your hopes up. I'm realistic, and Tech Phoenix knows this. If you're not part of, I'm part of the Philadelphia market. If you're not part of the Boston market where he's from, if you're not part of the Las Vegas market, New York market, um, and all these big markets in general, if you're part of the like smaller like Milwaukee and Arizona and all that, that's you're not you're gonna be thrown a bone, and you got to take whatever they give you. I'm just honestly speaking. They're not the only company that's really worrying about that they have a contract by the United States by FirstNet is AT&T. So AT&T is obligated to roll out 5G into these rural urban areas. Whether you're in the middle of the desert in Arizona, they got to provide service, and that's only LT. That's
Yeah.
What's weird is
Go ahead.
in Michigan, it's almost like the opposite for at least for like T-Mobile. And when I had AT&T and tested their 5G, it was weird because it was like if you're in the big cities, you got it, but it was slower. But then out in like the middle of nowhere around here where I would think that nothing would pick up, you're getting 5G and you're getting like the 250 to 300 meg speeds, which is not, the super fast, but it's still fast enough for most people, and you're getting good upload speeds and stuff too. It's really weird.
Yeah, because I think that maybe it improved because I'm not too knowledgeable. Like I said, the expert is Alex on that subject, and you. So and maybe I guess you may not see it today, but tomorrow you may see it because the infrastructure is getting better or they're working
That's
on it.
So we had a problem for a while where, like I said, I wasn't getting anything inside, like in a lot of areas, and it was dropping, and I had to use Wi-Fi calling and Wi-Fi messaging for everything. But then that's a problem because that doesn't always work, and and the whole switching. Then if you leave your Wi-Fi area and it switches off, and you don't have signal, then you drop call, or your photo that you're sending isn't complete, then it just stops even if there was like 1 meg of it left. So I'm just glad that they've improved things. They've obviously been working on towers around here, and hopefully that continues to get better. But it will be interesting to see because I think T-Mobile's doing this because Michigan, funny
Mhm.
enough, is their market. It's their market for the home internet that they're doing. Michigan is one, and in particular, like Grand Rapids and Lansing, which I'm literally halfway in between,
Mhm.
is two of their markets that they talked about the whole $50 a month um for their 5G internet with minimum speeds of 50 down and 50 up. And so I'm guessing since I'm halfway in between in the area that they're covering, they the that kind of circle that they want to cover should then reach out to around here because even if they only go, let's say, like a 25-mile radius,
Mhm.
I'm about 25 miles from either one. So I think that that's part of the reason why I'm seeing that with T-Mobile and some of the like the boony areas and that around here getting that is because they've made that promise, and I don't know if it's an agreement with some providers in Michigan or an agreement with the FCC, or because it's weird because it's Michigan and then it's like Iowa and like all these like it's so
Yeah, so that's good. I mean, T-Mobile did say that we're gonna get rolling out in the rural areas, and doing. I mean, I love Metro, man. Metro is just as good as T-Mobile. Like, see, these are the speeds that I'm talking about that I get
Yeah,
inside my house.
I'm
Look,
gonna give
I'm
you.
inside my house.
dang. And I know Smead has said that he's been testing the home internet and he's been using like the router or whatever in his car
Wow.
and he's been getting better speeds by using that than directly to his phone.
Yeah, yeah. Carlos has been doing the same thing too.
But my guess is it's because for example, I've tested this. I've had 4 phones running and I've ran a speed test on all of them.
Yeah.
And your speeds are slower than if you just run one because if there's more people around, the
hmm
congestion causes the tower, if they're connected to the same tower, causes it to affect it. My
hmm
guess is they prioritize those hotspots, especially since emergency services, like emergency stuff, are using hotspots that they have to
Yeah,
prioritize.
yeah. I could agree with that. I could definitely agree with that.
Plus,
That's what they're doing.
if they push fast speeds to one of those, and then you have 10 devices connected to one of those, that's 10 fewer devices connected to their tower because it's just that one hotspot, and then that's
hmm
sending it off. I know
Yeah.
that even like years ago, Verizon was working in Chicago and New York and some of these areas where essentially they had um, these cubes that were like the size of a Rubik's cube that they were putting on buildings and houses and stuff, and those acted
hmm
as like a cell repeater. And then they were putting in cabs like a smaller version of that that's like the size of a sugar cube, and it would repeat it again with the intention that I think they were preparing to do something similar with 5G. So like you were talking about the whole building penetration thing and like
hmm
around the corners being blocked, that essentially if every house had one of those and every car had one of those, it would basically repeat it to the areas where the larger ones can't reach, because you're
Gotcha.
limited by
Wow.
line of sight from that. But if it can go down and then that's
So
kind
it's
of
basically
repeated
like a
from one to
Wi-Fi
another,
extender.
it would be like having a bunch
Yup.
of small networks on there and everybody's device can connect, if there's
hmm
one of those within your region. So I think that's a smart move.
Yeah. And what about this question? He's asking, who are all y'all's main carrier use and how are they in your area? Well, for me, I got T-Mobile, but I got an LTE phone, so I can't speak on the 5G.
I mean, I got the 12 Pro is on AT&T. I could do a speed test. This is mid-band, just to make sure everybody understands. This is N41 from T-Mobile. This is mid-band. This is what I'm talking about. That's faster than people's home Wi-Fi. Now,
By
let,
far.
yeah, now let me do a speed test on AT&T. See, this is the 12 Pro Max, the Pacific Blue, and my main carrier is AT&T. BT BTech BTech reviews. My main
Mhm.
carrier is AT&T. So I know. Let me do a quick speed test on AT&T's low band 5G. Let's see what
Uh,
it's giving me right now. Because I haven't went over my 100 gigs of priority data, so I'm not supposed to be dealing with any type of throttling or speeds decreasing.
hmm.
Hold on. What the heck? I can't find the server right now. Give me a second. Ookala's acting up right now. There we go. AT&T in New York. Let's see. There we go. See, this is low band 5G from AT&T.
Hmm.
Mhm.
112 down. And 31.9 up, which is not bad. These are excellent speeds. See, AT&T low band 5G, 112 down and 31.9 up, which is good speeds. Like I said, they're excellent speeds. I could do anything. And then just in case anybody's wondering what it'll give me on fast.com, AT&T gives the full support, see, on fast.com. I hate that. It gets bright and then you can't see it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's so good because that is to let you play stuff like high.
There you go. With 66 megs, I could watch 8K video per second. That's more than 4K, 66 megs per second.
Well,
The fastest I got on fast.com was 280 megs per second.
well,
yeah, that- go
8K is 32 megapixels, so approximately 30. It's like 33.1, but so as long as you have, yeah, so you could. I mean, I've streamed 4K on 25 meg internet. So.
Oh, you want to see T-Mobile? Let me go get my T-Mobile line because my mom has it. Let me go get it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna show you what T-Mobile does on fast.com with HD streaming on. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Right back.
So what about you? What's the company that you have for 5G?
I use T-Mobile.
Okay, T-Mobile.
Yep. So TJ was asking about like the whole effects of like the radio waves and stuff on the human body.
Here we go.
It
See, now I got this for my mom for Christmas. This is the S20 Fan Edition. So it's a 5G phone. So let's speed test T-Mobile postpaid. And this is T-Mobile postpaid. This is not prepaid. I don't want people getting confused. So it picks up the same N41.
Wow.
And you see right there it says T-Mobile, doesn't say Metro.
How do you know which band it's picking up?
By the speeds. That's the easiest way to tell.
I mean, I can't remember. I used to know the shortcut that you could do that was like the pound star or whatever, and it popped up there and showed you your. And I used an app, but the app that I used, essentially once 5G became a thing, it was like it didn't work anymore. It would only work on the LTE. It would only show you the LTE bands, and I was like, damn. That's
so now let's go to fast, bro. Yeah, you get ready to get mind blown, bro. Watch this. Hold on, let it autofocus. Look at that, bro.
Interesting.
150. And that's because this is on N41. Let's do another one.
N41 T-Mobile is where it's at.
Yep, look at that. 170 on fast.com. What can't you see, bro? With 170 down on fast.com.
You can even live stream.
Anything with 170 down. That's what I said. N41 is where it's at. N41. And T-Mobile's been rolling it out aggressively, guys. Really, really aggressively. And that's what I love. T-Mobile's putting their mouth where their money is and actually fulfilling and extending N41 because I seen new N41 towers not too far from my house. I would say in less than a 5-mile radius. They put a whole new tower. I'm talking about brand new. The freaking panels are shining, bro. They're like pearl white. They're shining because they're brand new. And there's N41 on there ready to be activated. Oh, get out of here, bro. So it's awesome, man. I'm lucky that I'm getting N41 speeds in my area. Yeah, you are. Beat Tech Reviews. You are, bro. N41 is a game changer, man. N41 is a game changer.
So
So
Oh
I
yeah,
just tested 3 different companies for you guys. Well, Metro and T-Mobile is almost the same thing, but Metro still a standalone company.
what
It's not
about
the
this
same.
question? Exactly. He said, hold up, can we go back to the towers for a minute? So there's two main companies making the tower, Ericsson and Nokia. So he want more information on that. So
Jesus, the ones that know a lot about that is Sneed and Carlos.
yeah,
But
that
all I
too.
can tell you, bro, is that Ericsson is better than Nokia.
That's all I know too.
Yeah, like in my area, Moose. I'm not gonna say his name because he's somebody higher up on AT&T, so we just call him Moose. Um, he said that the Nokia panels don't transmit the service, the signal to your phone as good as the Ericsson panels. So the Ericsson, like right now, see, I'm connected to Nokia panels because my service keeps fluctuating. My service keeps going from from 3 to 4 to 1 bars on low band 5G. And that's because they're Nokia panels. Now, if it was an Ericsson panel, my service wouldn't fluctuate. You see how it just dropped 1 bar?
Mhm.
Earlier, when I did the speed test, it was 2 bars. It'll go down to 1 bar. It'll keep racing up and down. So that's because they're Nokia panels. Like the Ericsson panels have a stronger connection to your device, to the bands in your device, and you'll get a better, more reliable connection and more reliable speed. So that's the difference between the Nokia and the Ericsson panels, from what they explained to me. So,
Yeah, that's the same thing that I learned from watching them. Exactly.
yeah, like I can't tell you for sure. I swear, I can't go outside right now. I know where the AT&T panels are at because they're on top of the hospital. That's 2 blocks away from my house. But even if I went and got live from my iPhone and went over there, I wouldn't be able to tell you. There's T-Mobile up there, there's Sprint up there, there's still Sprint up there, there's Verizon up there, there's AT&T up there. So I can't tell you because even T-Mobile uses Ericsson and Nokia panels, and I don't know how to distinguish the panels. I haven't gotten to that deep into analyzing the towers and which I know which one is N41 because it's a big, huge panel. It's like huge. It's like this. It's like the size of a freaking toddler, and it's hanging from the tower. That's how I know they're N41 because they're freaking huge. The panels are freaking huge. But do I know which ones are band 66? Like right now, it says I'm connected to band 66. It says NR 5G and it says band 66. Do I know which one is band 66 in the tower? No, because I haven't gone that in depth. I'm planning hopefully this year to learn more so that when people ask me questions, I can break it down. This is what 66 looks like. This is what 71 looks like. This is what 12 looks like. This is what 4 looks like. And this is Sony Ericsson and this is Nokia. But I haven't got that far ahead.
What about this question?
Here, one locations, I'm getting about 30 megs with 5G. When I phone back to 4G, I get a little better speeds on 4G. What company do you got though, bro?
Yeah,
That's
TJ,
really
what company?
important because if you have Verizon, it's the DSS. Yeah, DSS is garbage. I gotta call it what it is. It's garbage. Right now, right. Oh, all right. Good to know.
Thanks for the clarification.
No problem, bro. No problem. Anytime.
What about you, Michael? What's your experience or something you want to add to the conversation?
Well, TJ was asking earlier about
Go
the
ahead.
whole like biological aspect of 5G, and it's like, nah, they're using frequencies that have been used for years for like ultra high def TV,
Mhm.
and actually a lot of them are using the same frequencies that LTE was used. They're just
Mhm.
able to get
Refarming
more
it.
throughput and refarming it and updating it,
Mhm.
and it's not like there are really any new frequencies that are coming out. It's like, and unless, I mean, technically, if you were to stand right next to these 5G nodes, some of them, you would get high exposure. But the thing is, the gigahertz frequency that's required to penetrate the human body is like in the hundreds, and these only get up to like, I think the highest is what, 60 megahertz, I think.
Yeah, bro.
And these require like 3, 4, 5, 600, like way higher. I
Yeah.
mean, if you were to stand next to the thing, for like hours, it could hurt you eventually.
Okay.
It'd be like being inside a microwave, but like you'd literally have to
Or
stand next, like right up next to it, like heart
or
pressed
like the
against
X-ray
it for
machine.
like hours. Like, so yeah,
People don't understand,
there's
like
no worry. Like,
X-ray machines have radiation.
True.
That's how they could see the arc structure or bone structure to find out. That's radiation that machine is shooting at you when it takes your X-rays.
yep.
CAT scan is X-rays. Your freaking microwave has more radiation than a 5G tower, and that's
I
just being
mean,
honest.
I'm literally this close to my Wi-Fi, and
Well, that's that shoots a lot of radiation too, bro.
and
Mine's is bigger. Imagine I got the new Verizon one. The tower's like this. It's the gigabit speed one. So imagine how much radiation
so
that releases into my room.
this thing
But he
sent
said T-Mobile. So what phone do you have from T-Mobile, bro? Because that's important too.
me.
No,
No, him.
TJ.
He said he got T-Mobile. He said he's having faster speeds with LTE than with 5G.
But also,
He's probably on N71, which is low band 5G. But in
Wait,
my experience here in New Jersey, low band 5G has crapped all over LTE. Like I'm serious. Like I did a low band 5G speed test at Taco Bell. Remember? Tech for your needs. It's on my channel. I did it on Taco Bell. I was getting 210 on low band 5G, 210 megs down and like 40, 50 up on low band on N71 because low band 5G is N71.
oh, here we goes. 5G.
Oh,
yeah,
damn. I don't know. I haven't experienced nothing with OnePlus, bro. I heard the OnePlus phones were having problems with T-Mobile 5G, to be honest, because even bigger YouTubers talked about this, about
so
the OnePlus.
I had the OnePlus 7.
Go ahead, Michael.
I had the OnePlus 8. My wife was using the OnePlus 7T, which is an LTE phone, but my OnePlus 8 with 5G still had the same issues that she had on T-Mobile. No service, and like the Wi-Fi calling wouldn't work, and
Wow.
and I'm sitting here with like connected to 5G on my Note, and I will say this is weird. You know, the new iPhone's got the better modems in them now, but
Mhm.
I get worse speeds on my iPhone than I do on my Note usually, which is weird because it's, you know, you're talking about technically a newer phone. So it should have better, but it must be antenna placement and all sorts of things. So
And what note is it that you get better speeds on, Michael?
the Note 20 Ultra.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like I said, it's mind blowing because the speed testing that Carlos did in in Las Vegas where he lives at, he got better speeds on millimeter wave on the iPhone 12 Pro than on the Note 20 Ultra
Hmm.
on Verizon.
Well, and I also know that T-Mobile technically they do have millimeter wave um, that they're working on, and
It's
so
like
does
scattered.
AT&T, but they're, you know, because people automatically like they assume, because kind of when it was first talked about, the whole thing was, oh, you know, Verizon has millimeter wave and AT&T and T-Mobile and that use sub-6 and all this crap, and it's like, well, no, actually eventually they're all going to use everything, because otherwise they're not going to get the reach to everybody. You know, they're not going to have the fast speeds to compete if they don't all have millimeter wave, and then if they don't all have the low band and the sub-6 stuff, they're not going to be able to penetrate the buildings. So it'll be one or the other, and Verizon's not going to want to have AT&T and T-Mobile be like, yeah, ours can go inside a building. What about yours? And AT&T and T-Mobile aren't going to want to be, well, if you're outside or you're out and about or whatever, that we can get faster speeds. So they're going to have to all offer the same kind of technology, because that's the same thing that happened with LTE and HSPA plus and all that stuff,
Let
and
me
that's the
switch.
same thing that happened with like why CDMA is going to be really a non-differentiator versus GSM, and that whole thing started kind of going away too, because
About this question, it depends what location you live to.
I think. Look, I'm gonna do a speed test on LTE right now. You guys seen what I got with Metro on 5G, right? On midband. Now I'm gonna do a LTE speed test.
I
See, it
would
says Metro LTE.
Go ahead, Michael.
I would tell him that if it's anything like it is around here, hopefully they're working on the 5G by him because it was the same thing here. Like it was really slow. It wasn't any better than LTE. My LTE was non-existent. My 5G was basically non-existent. I had to stand in just the right spots. And then all of a sudden, it was like they updated the towers. They kicked on us. That they flipped a switch and things are improved. I mean, it's not anywhere near that. Even that. It's not something that like I could sit here and stream from consistently or anything like that, unless I sat in just the right spot and hope that
Oh,
like
so that's
nobody else
LTE.
is using their device.
Yeah, this is LTE 42.0 down and 28.4 down. See, LTE. So it's not bad speeds. I would say, I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. From my friend's experience, I never tried a One Plus. The One Plus is not the best 5G phone. It's not it. It people hate it.
I've had nothing but issues with OnePlus devices that I've had with service on like any carrier. I had a OnePlus 6T back in the day. Tried that on all the carriers. I had the OnePlus 7T and then gave that to my wife. I got the 8, which had 5G. In all of them, it's something about the placement of the antennas and
Yep.
maybe the modem there. And it shouldn't be the modem because essentially like all devices that use the particular Snapdragon, like they are using the same modem basically, but antenna placement and just the materials it's made out of, and there's all sorts of things that can affect that signal, interfere with it. I mean, our house interferes with signal because we have like chicken wire in some of the walls, and that will actually interfere with Wi-Fi.
Mm.
That's why, like, if we had a really old router, Wi-Fi wouldn't even work except for in the room where it is because that will actually block
The service.
like 2.4 gigahertz, um,
Wow.
the older stuff. And then once
Yeah.
they did the expanded bands where it's down to like was it 1/10,000th of a megahertz or whatever, it's like it can go anywhere from like 2.40001 gigahertz all the way up to like 2.41 or whatever. That made a
Yeah.
difference, but that's the same thing you're seeing with the 5G. That's the whole thing. 5G versus millimeter wave versus
Yeah, I
low
consider.
band stuff is it's different frequencies, and it's the same thing,
Mhm.
and it's the
I
same
consider I
thing.
consider low band more of like the 2.4 gigahertz band, and then millimeter wave as the 5 gigahertz band.
But I also wanted to say
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that 5G is not only going to be for the phones, it's also going to be for other technologies. So that's the part that we're not talking about. I wanted to mention it so people can understand that once you get more advanced, going to be medical hospitals and the factories. So robotics could build faster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know the general public doesn't care about that though, bro.
True.
Well, and
The general public only cares is what is 5G gonna do for me. I don't care what it does for
Yeah,
Honda or Mercedes, but you
but
know
if
with the
somebody's
machines like you said.
operating, if somebody's operating me, I don't want to die on the table.
I
You
mean,
know
yeah,
what I'm
it's gonna make virtual reality a thing. 5G, yeah, like we see in the movies that they pull up a scroll and you see it in the movie and they're typing. Yeah, it's gonna make that a reality when full 5G is blown. And what's his name? The guy that tells me that he has the One Plus.
Oh, TJ.
TJ, bro, your best bet, bro. Get out of One Plus. That's my advice, bro. That's the best advice I could give you. Get yourself a Samsung or an iPhone, something else, something not OnePlus, not OnePlus. OnePlus has been the most unreliable 5G phone for every company. Verizon, I have friends testing it on Verizon. They said it's horrible. I had another friend in Oregon that's also a fellow YouTuber testing it in Oregon next like half an hour away or an hour away from Portland. He lives away from an hour away from Portland. He said it was horrible with AT&T out there in Oregon. So it's multiple content creators from different states in the United States testing the OnePlus 5G phones, and they all say they suck. So I can't recommend them.
Even Michael said it.
You know, if he doesn't want to go with Samsung or something or an iPhone, you know, let's say he wants to stay on Android side, but he wants that like, because you know,
OnePlus.
like with OnePlus, if he wants that experience, that like pure experience still,
Google.
I'd say get a Pixel 5
Yes, I love this phone. Sort of
because
safe.
that's going to be pretty close as far as like,
Yes.
because all the gestures are the same, the
Mm-hmm.
look pretty much is the same. Now
It's
that
stock Android.
the dark mode is the same.
Yep.
OnePlus doesn't, their UI, their Oxygen OS doesn't really have any differentiators anymore. You know,
I
or
love
even
this
the
thing,
or
Michael.
even the 4A 5G if you want to save a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And before we continue, I'm gonna have everybody's description on the description below. So if you're part of the replay crew, don't forget to hit like, subscribe. I'm not leaving yet, but I'm just saying. So
Mhm.
like, if I bring you value and you like what you see, you could become a subscriber. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, so the Pixel 5, I love it. I had it since it first came out. Tech Finis knows it. I pre-ordered it. It went on pre-order on the 29th, and I pre-ordered it on October 9th. 20 days in advance. That's how bad I wanted this phone. I pre-ordered it 20 days in advance. And I highly recommend it, man. With the new updates, the speaker that's inside the screen, I don't have no problems. It sounds loud, it sounds clear. Like, yo, the new updates, the Android 11 updates. And another thing, you're always going to get updates first on your Google Pixel. Always, 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 because it's Android phone. So, yo, in the pure stock Android experience, it's just like having the iPhone. I'm serious. And then another thing, this phone has RCS messaging. That means I can receive high quality pictures and send videos to my iPhone and receive videos from my iPhone without any distortion or pixelation or drop down in quality. So yes, hands down. If I was ever to leave Apple, I'm Team Pixel, baby. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm Team Pixel.
Yeah, my wife had a iPhone 10 and then the 11 Pro Max, and then she was using the OnePlus 7T for a little bit. But when I got the Pixel 5, she's like, "Oh, I want that." So when I got my iPhone 11 or my iPhone 12 mini, I was like, "You can have the Pixel 5. Here you go." And like for her going from iPhone, like it's the only Android device that she hasn't complained about from like day one, because the rest of them were like, you know, she's got her good photos, she got her good video, she got a good size device, she got something that's simple to use, that doesn't have all these complicated things you got to change and set up to get it to work, and you know, it doesn't drop service when she's at work. It doesn't drop service when she's trying to message her boss or whatever, you know, and she's good to go. And so that's why it's like, yeah, if somebody if somebody really is like, "Oh, I like iPhone, but, you know, or I've been looking at an iPhone, but I don't want to go to that." It's like as close as you're going to get to an iPhone, we'll still have an Android.
Mm-hmm.
And what about this question? He want to know the name from Oregon. Who's the YouTuber?
Oh, he's not doing YouTube anymore.
Okay.
It got to him. You know, this is what people need to understand. Being a YouTuber is not as easy as you think. Some people can't take the criticism and the bullying that happens on here, especially if you're reviewing something that somebody doesn't like. Like when I reviewed the iPhone on AT&T, this lady said, "I hope you when you go outside you get hit by a meteor and you die." Because I hate you just as much as I hate AT&T. That's bullying. Some people can't take that. Like he told me he was getting really stressed out and his anxiety was getting through the roof because of people criticizing him. So, you know, you got to have thick skin if you want to be a content creator.
That's why I always was talking about this in the clubhouse about being a YouTuber and mental health. It's very important to keep your sanity.
Yes, bro.
Somebody's phone
This
just
Oh, that was
restarted or
mine.
something.
Yeah, that was mine. Hello. Okay. Okay, bye.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm staying over
I
here up to 8:30. Go ahead, Michael.
I got to the point where I just started doing the whole like either remove from channel or like mute people
Yeah.
because or hide from channel, because then they can still watch your content and they can go in and type in the comment, but it won't actually show up. So you still get the view, and I don't care if somebody thumbs down because YouTube doesn't care either. Like I could have a video that has like 10,000 dislikes on it and 1 like. YouTube doesn't care whether it's that way or the other way around. It's still a view. Like that's the thing. It's still a view. Like they don't care if it's the interaction. No, what annoys me though is like if people do that and don't tell me why. Like if somebody said, I disliked this video because you said you would touch on such and such and you didn't or something. Like that's a learning tool, but if you just go thumbs down and you don't tell me why, like there's no reason for that. But I found the same thing though. Like certain content I do, I know I'm going to get like a good at least 10 dislikes on it because there's the people that like my Apple content used to usually guaranteed I'd hit like 10 thumbs down within the first day because there's a lot of people that like, oh, I hate Apple, so I'm going to dislike your video. I'm not even going to watch it. It's not even because of the video. And then you have this, it's the Samsung Knights that do that. And then you have and then you have the opposite too, because you have the people that like, they had a really bad experience with Samsung. It has nothing to do with your video. It has to do with the title, but nothing to do with the content of it. So they just, any video that they come across with a particular brand in it.
No, trust me. There's a guy that dislikes all my videos. Just one dislike. And I'm like, yo, I wonder. And they DM me on Twitter. Because I always say my reach out to me on Twitter. And I'm like, bro, okay, so you're the one disliking my videos, right? Yeah. So why do you dislike my videos? Because I don't like you. And then he blocked me. That's it. That's all he left me. So I blocked him back and just deleted the whole thread. Wait. That's all that's all he said. He said, I just don't like you, and that's it. So I'm like, wow. So I was like, all right, bro, if that gets your jollies off, if you feel happy, disliking all my videos, then go right ahead. That makes you whatever stress you're dealing with at home. If you're out of work right now, if you're mad at the pandemic, you're not the only one stuck home right now. So if that's what makes you happy, then go ahead, bro. I swear to God, that's what I told him, Michael. And then he blocked me.
There were a group of like young content creators that were going out and like disliking other young content creators' videos. And I like got in one of their DMs and I was like, dude, you're supposed to support each other and not do that. So like they went and disliked all mine.
Yeah.
But they told me that, so then I went and reported them because they told me in the DMs that they had done that, so I went and reported them to Twitter. I was like, nuh-uh. Like, don't tell me you are because that's a violation of terms and services, is like bullying people in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I was like, fine, I'll go report your Twitter and you'll get.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. He said, I just don't like you.
It's
You
like,
know
was
what
like,
they
wow.
you know what they told me? Y'all want to laugh? I got a private message, right? And I'm like, what the heck? On YouTube, you could private message, and it goes, I don't like you because you have broke YouTube because you don't buy every phone. I'm like, what? So therefore, you're not up to quality with other YouTubers. Why you call yourself a YouTuber tech if you can't afford anything? Why you don't do another channel for something else?
Nah,
I'm
people
pretty
can't tell
sure
you
if
what to
somebody
do.
told me that, I'd be like, I've bought more phones in the last year than probably iJustine or MKBHD have because they're given a lot of these things. Like, if you
Yeah,
think
they are.
about it, they're
You're
given
right.
a lot of the phones. They might buy a phone or two.
But if you
But
think
that's the
about it,
thing. Like, when you
go
get
ahead.
that level, though, that's okay. Like, and I've gotten
Mhm.
phones sent to me, too. Like, but that's the funny thing that people don't realize, like when you're a small channel, that you actually buy more things than the large channels do. And
Yes.
they appear and it's like, you do you not listen to like the fact that they'll say, hey, this was sent to me by, like, all those videos that say that mean they haven't bought it, so they've actually spent less money than you have. Now getting up to that point, they probably spent a bunch and their studio and stuff, but still, like, okay, how did they make that money? um some of these that started a really long time ago, there wasn't as much competition, and there was one iPhone that came out a year, maybe one or two Samsung top phones that in the S line that they had to cover, and that was like really it. And now there's so many devices. There's hundreds of laptops that come out a year, hundreds of Android phones, multiple iPhones. There's all this stuff. So to get started and cover it constantly, it's different. But what I've decided is I'm not buying phones, and I'm not buying anything unless it's something that I would buy because I want it or need it too. And I'm just gonna review my devices and do update, like software update reviews and app update reviews and like tech news stuff and how to, and like, okay, I found a new app for editing my thumbnails and talk about that and things like that, because you're losing money, especially when I'm not monetized or anything. So everything I spend is essentially negative, and that's not good. Once you're monetized, you're making money. If you only spend what you earn or less, that's one thing. But it's like, that's what people don't realize. Like, there's no way you can, unless you're some like, if you can afford to buy everything and keep up with the people that get all these, then like, you're most likely probably not doing YouTube, because if you have that kind of money, why are you, unless you really enjoy it just for the fun of it. But I don't know of any content creator that was like super wealthy and decided they were going to review products just because they liked it. Usually it was like they liked it and then they used that to turn into, and they turned their channel into a brand, and then they got the money from that. It wasn't like some
Yeah,
multi-millionaire
I
that came
agree.
out and went, I'm going to buy every laptop because I like reviewing laptops. It was like, no, they worked their way up and they got the notoriety, and they got to the point where, they reviewed their own computers every year, or they went and built cheap computers and sold those or gave them away, and then they used that knowledge, and then some company saw it, and so they sent them out, a laptop, and they reviewed it and they did really well, and another company saw that and they sent them out, and they build up from there, like slowly, one or two or three a year, and then the next year on and on and on. It's not really, huge investment. That's what people don't get. It's expensive. Like, I was thinking the other day, I was like looking at, like, thinking I'm gonna redo my office area, and I have my MacBook, but I have my Windows laptop, and then I have the desktop I built. And between that, the monitors, the microphone, my camera, like my phone, the two phones that I use, not to mention other devices I've bought in the past year, but just like the basic of things is like, what did I figure it out? It was like $12,000.
Mhm.
Like, if I added up all the phones and everything, if I look at just what I'm using, like my MacBook, $1,000, my Razer Blade was like 1,800, my phone is 800, my microphone was and interface was like 300, my monitor would be another 400, my other monitor is like 250 and 300 for those two monitors, my desk was like 100, my lights were like another 150. It adds up. Once I was like, dang, that adds up once you really look into it. And that's not anything compared to like what a lot of people spend. Not really.
Yeah, it's true. I agree. But to tell you the truth, when I spend money and think that I'm gonna use.
Yeah.
Okay, not only for YouTube, can I use that outside of YouTube, and then I can make money off of it? Then that's what I think. I think of twice.
That's the same thing here. On that, and I've gotten stuff selling old phones that I don't use, or things that I wasn't using, or trading things in and stuff like that. So it wasn't like I actually spent that entirely. It's been over time, and a lot of these things have been over the last year and a half.
Hmm.
That I've slowly gotten things, and
But the thing that I understand, right? None of our channels say mobile tech. Yours is tech for your knees. Yours is Michael Pepper Tech, right? Am I saying it right?
yep,
Yep.
And mine's is RL. RGT stands for Real G Tech. It doesn't specify mobile.
right,
You get what I'm saying? When that person was an idiot I'm sorry, I gotta call it how it is. He was an idiot to say for Tech for Your Needs, you're a broke YouTuber because his name is not Mobile Tech. It's not like the homie Sneed Mobile Tech. His name is Sneed Mobile Tech. So right there, if he does a computer, then somebody could say something towards him. But us on this panel saying tech at the end of our names, even if mine is abbreviated with other words, and his is Tech for Your Needs, we can talk about speakers, we could talk about radios, we could talk about smart TVs, we could talk about anything leaning to tech, cell phone towers, the bands, and everything. So you can't say you're a broke YouTuber because you don't have all the phones. You don't got to have all the phones to be a YouTuber. You could review stuff. Like, I don't have all the phones. Have I spent a lot of money in the last 4 years? Yes. Oh my God, yo, I spent money on phones. I would say I spent close to what you spent, Michael. I would say like 12 grand. My computer was 1200
I
that I just
mean,
got last year.
the
My Pixel was 900. The iPhone was 1800. So yeah, it's a lot of money, and people don't understand that we spend all this money to make our channels better, right? And to give them the content they want. And then we have our haters talking about, oh, you're a broke YouTuber, or you shouldn't make videos, or just go get a life. That's what I tell them,
so,
and then I block them.
Hmm.
and
I
my
don't.
thing
I
though is
don't
like
argue. Just hit the block button. Go ahead, Michael.
well, the other thing is like I had the original fold. That was $2,000. Now I sold it
Wow.
because I hated it. Like literally, I was like, it was cool for like the first few weeks, and then the novelty wore off. And so then I use that towards other things. And it's like the same thing with other, like I like my OnePlus 6T. I sold that for $400. I had bought it and it was like, that phone was $800 when it came out. That's not what I paid for it. I sold it for almost exactly what I paid for it. And that's
Hmm.
what I do with things. But the thing is, I buy things that either I'm going to keep until they don't work anymore, so I'm getting the value out of them, or like my MacBook, in theory, I could sell it after a year and probably won't take much of a loss compared to other things because they tend to hold pretty good value. Same thing with like iPhones. Trade-in value or resale value tends to
Yeah.
maintain pretty good. And but like my microphone I use for more than just my YouTube. I am working on other side like stuff that I enjoy doing. Like I like to write poetry and I like singing, so I'm working on doing writing music and some things like that that I haven't released yet or really said anything about yet, but that's like I enjoy photography, so my camera that I typically use as my webcam. Right now I'm using my iPhone as my webcam, but you know, my iPhone's my camera, my regular camera I'll carry with me. Usually I have both because I enjoy photography. I do nature stuff. I do all sorts of things. Um, and once the whole COVID thing balances out and people are allowed to have weddings and outside stuff and actually do photo shoots again, my goal is to use it to make money. So that's, you know, that's the and that's what other people don't realize. Like these big content creators like MKBHD with his like $50,000 Red cameras and like his, you know, $500,000 in cameras between like the multiple Red cameras he owns and all the batteries and like the other camera he owns and like the and some of the lights and stuff and like the lenses, cuz he works in like video production for other people. Like he
Hmm.
edits for other people, he helps shoot. He's shot like ads for people and move like little movies and stuff. Like people don't realize he has a side hustle, and that's probably where he makes more of his money than even anything with YouTube. I know that Linus Tech Tips, only 3% of all of his annual is from ad revenue on YouTube. The rest of it is from like people buying his shirts or like his water bottles or
Merch.
his merch and stuff, or like the ad companies paying him money, or like Intel paying like $10,000 for a 30-second slot. Like that's what people don't realize. YouTube doesn't like when you get to that level. YouTube really like they could stop doing YouTube essentially because it's not really any of their money other than like the advertisers that pay them to, like, they could go to another platform and still make the money as long as they had the same, they get the views and all that.
And my kid was named last year, 2020, 30 under Forbes.
Yeah, so it's like that's what people, and it's like it's not your money, so why are you telling me what I should buy and what I should spend? Like, you came onto my channel to watch, you should
Hmm.
know. Like, that's what I never get. And but I've been learning, and and for me, I started my channel to help people. Like, so like if you stumble upon and I'm talking about a product and you want to know, or you're like want to compare, for example, I compared the Note 9 to the iPhone 11 Pro Max, and like that's still getting views because people still are buying those devices
Yeah.
and want to know like which does better photos and which does better video, inside and outside. And I did that. And but not just helping people that way, but I do my interviews so that like these small channels can hopefully get, people will see them. And I've sat down with channels that have a few hundred subscribers all the way up to like 60,000. And this week I'm actually sitting down with somebody who has 211,000. So it's like the varying, and then they'll see and they'll look at my content and they'll see these other creators. And so my thing is like, my hopes is to connect with all these people and grow from it. And then if I ever get to the point where I'm large enough that the people that I've shown on my channel or sat down with will grow too, because people will see them on there and go, okay, he's reputable. So as my reputation gains, it's to help other people, because we're not competing with each other. I mean, there's 7.3 billion
Yeah.
people in the world. There's constantly, I don't know how many videos are uploaded a day and how many views and all that, like billions or whatever. And um I've had different people on, and it's been amazing. And that's the thing, though, that people don't have to realize, that Savage Scientist was on while he was in his car, riding down, right in his truck, riding down the road, having to come
And
and go.
you forgot about somebody else. I was in your channel too.
You were.
Well, a couple of times.
You were on. I had you on when you came back,
Correct.
because you made me a promise that you would come, that I would be the first live stream that you were on when you came back, and you were. And then you went on your own live stream, and now you're doing your own thing, which is
Yeah.
awesome. Everybody's doing this now, and it's awesome.
It's enough to go around. That's what I tell people. I mean,
I
you know
know.
what I mean?
Look at this channel. This channel, I had it for 9 years now, and I only got 68 subscribers in 9 years. That is sad. That is very. I'm happy, but I'm just saying it's sad. Like, how can I have a video that's 9 years old recommending Visible 9 years ago, and people didn't say, well, you know what? I'm gonna subscribe to his channel because I was looking for Visible and he gave me the information that I required and broke it down that I might not get the same speeds he gets where he lives at and all that. And it was still in the same house I live in right now. And 68 subscribers.
Well, before we head out, I just want to give any comments you want to make before I close this down. So you could start any one of y'all.
Well, on my channel, Michael, if you don't mind, I do speed testing. That's what I do on my channel on Aurel RGT. So if you want to see speed testing, I got Metro versus Cricket. I got T-Mobile versus AT&T, T-Mobile versus Metro, mid-band to mid-band, the Google Pixel 5 versus the the S20 Fan Edition. So if you like seeing any of that stuff, you can subscribe to my channel. I would highly appreciate it. It's exactly what it says on there. And I'm the only one on YouTube with the name, so it's easy to find. Aurel RGT. Google, nobody was talking to you. A Google Pixel activated. It's over there talking to me.
Go ahead, Michael.
Well, I have two channels, but my main channel that basically everything is on as of right now is Michael Pepper Tech. I have a Michael Pepper Tech live channel, but that's mainly now going to be for like certain live streams and re-uploads of my live. So I'll leave my live streams active on my main channel for like a few hours after the live stream, and then I'm going to download them and upload them to my live, so that way if people want to know where my live content is, they don't have to necessarily look for the playlist. It's all going to be together on that channel. And that will also let me know like like how many views I'm getting later. Although I might just leave it all on my main channel. I haven't decided yet. Anyways, I have those two channels. I have those two under Twitter as well. And I also have a Michael Pepper Photography Instagram and Michael Pepper Tech Facebook page. I'm everywhere basically.
Okay. And with me, if you like what you see, subscribe. If I give informative value today and every day, subscribe. And also, don't forget to tune in, same time, same channel. With that said, God bless. Peace.
Peace.